back to week 6. We're in part 2 of 3 parts. And I'm going to put this all in one recording this week. I want to remind you all, I'm covering cognitive theory. I was trying to get to constructivist, but instructional designers should know about both cognitive theory and constructivist theory. And so I'm trying to hit the highlights. The videos are recorded. We're semi-flipping the class. You can watch, you can ask me any question you want. I'm just trying to hit the highlights in those, and I'll do more skimming after Mengyuan leaves. So Mengyuan Zhao started in 2010 or so, like August, and was in my R678 class at the time on emerging learning technologies on a Monday. She was seated in the 3rd row. It was a 3rd seat over, and next to her was someone named Shuya and Yua were on either side. And well, the 3 of them showed up in my Tuesday night class a couple of weeks back, and we're talking about the dissertation process. So Mengyuan was a master's student. All 3 of them were master's students back in 2010. Now, since then, Shuya has finished her doctorate, her PhD. Mengyuan's in the midst of data collection and analyses of her EDD, and Yua is doing her proposal at this time. She passed her quals. So they're all, hopefully, going to be getting done within like the next year. We should have a big celebration or party or something. So Mengyuan, before coming, she was in China, in Beijing Normal, where I've been a couple of times. She got her undergrad in language and literature. It's one of the best universities in China, especially for educational technology. It probably has the most people, if you combine the people in Beijing Normal looking at distance learning and the people looking at educational technology, if those 2 departments, the distance ed is huge. If you were to combine the 2 of them together, it'd be the largest. I think, from what I understand, from my comprehension anyhow, I've been around the world a number of times. It's one of the, it would be the largest, I would think. There's a lot of great stuff going on at Beijing Normal, so she was lucky to be among theirs, and they're lucky to have her too. So now she's at Course Networking up in Indianapolis, which spun out of IUPUI. Dr. Ali Jafari, who built OnCourse, he built Angel, which sold to Blackboard for $100 million. She works for a serial entrepreneur in learning management systems. So Course Networking is like a newest version of a learning management system that's based on Twitter and Facebook-like social media, combined with the normal traditional LMS. There are many faculty at IUPUI as well as IU Bloomington who are experimenting with the course networking, as well as corporations, schools, and universities around the country. If you go to thecn.com, I think you might be able to find it. And within the CN, they have gamification, they have e-portfolios, they have an AI smart agent, smart learning agent called Ruby.
Rumi.
Rumi, which is an Iranian name, I think. And you can get points, points are in not blackberries, not blueberries, not boysenberries.
Pomegranate
which are
seeds.
Yeah, which are also native to Iran. So Ali's doing all sorts of great things. He's trying to make it open source. They are making an open platform so you can get the people who are in the global south to utilize the course networking tools as well. And he's a professor at IUPUI. And so she's in the IUP Cyber Lab, which is an EdTech innovation lab. And it's in a cool part of the IUPUI campus, which will soon be University of Indianapolis and Purdue. I think Mengyuan will be a trader and she's going to work for Purdue, I think, or something like that. So
it's still being decided.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Oh, I hope we can keep
see.
you. Yeah. I hope we keep you, Mengyuan. So, but we'll still bring you in. Mengyuan, would you like to kind of fill in the gaps of your history a little bit, things that I missed, besides having 2 children since you left and got your master's, 2 baby girls?
I have 2 daughters. One is 2 and one is 5.5. Yep, 2 daughters.
And their names?
The older one is Everly, is a uncommon name, Everly, and the younger one is Claire. So 2 little girls, they keep me busy, but they're very lovely. I enjoy my time with them.
I'm keeping you busy too. Why don't we get to your slides so you can get back to them? If you can call those up.
Sure. I prepared a PowerPoint that will answer some of the questions Dr. Bunk has prepared. And I also plan to do a demo of course networking. Then I'm open for any questions. Okay, so how about I run through some of my PowerPoint slides, and then we can do Q&As. I hope this is a casual conversation with you all. Yeah, so Dr. Bang did a really nice job introducing me. Oh, this slide actually should be the first. So yeah, my English name is Alice. My Chinese name is Mengyuan Zhao. I'm the Associate Director of Research and Development at IUPUI Cyber Lab and Course Networking. So this is the part I copied from my team's PowerPoint. The business part, like to tell people, I'm in charge of CN training, pedagogical, and implementation support. So you can kind of see part of my job responsibilities here. My email address is here. Feel free to jot down and contact me. Okay, so a quick introduction of our IUPUI Cyber Lab. Just as Dr. Bank mentioned earlier, it's an educational technology research and development laboratory that innovates and commercializes educational technology software since 1996. So the lab has been existing for almost 25 to 30 years. We are under the direction and supervision of Professor Ali Jafari. Dr. Ali Jafari has many great ideas, and he's an entrepreneur, and he has designed and developed several successful learning platforms.
He's known as either the father or the godfather of the learning management system. If you look him up in Wikipedia, so yeah, so he's known as, you know, kind of like the forerunner, the starter of the learning LMS. So yeah,
Dr. Ali Jafari, he is from Iran, so you may see some features on CN later that is in Farsi, his language.
Right.
Yeah, so our lab focus on education technology, innovation, software prototype, smart learning agent development, pedagogy innovation, and education technology commercialization. So these are some of the major projects at the Cyber Lab over the past 25 to 30 years. OnCourse, later becomes Sakai, is an open source learning management system. IU used it, I think, for about a decade or so before Canvas. And Angel Learning is a commercial version of the Sakai, which was sold to Blackboard for almost $100 million, brought back huge success of return on investment to Indiana University. And this is how our lab could have a nice location in this building on the IUPUI campus. I think about $20 million of the money from the Angel Learning project got invested in the construction of this building. So this is the technology and science laboratory building right next to the IUPUI library on the IUPUI campus. And we got to choose the best location. So we're on the first floor. So if you are on IUPUI, feel free to visit us. We're in the engineering and the technology or science and technology laboratory building, EL 101.
Last year in May or April, I took a group from this class or from other classes up to visit. So it could happen again. We could visit again. IU made $30 million. That's the most Indiana University made on any sponsorship or, you know, any royalties ever at that point in time. So IU became a big promoter of the Cyber Lab because of that. You know, money talks sometimes, but
it does.
It does. So, you know, the Sakai was Stanford, MIT, Indiana, and Michigan. The four universities created Sakai together. And that was the tool we used for over a decade. And then we went to Canvas more recently. Yeah.
Yep. Epsilon is a combination of learning management system and e-portfolio. So Dr. Ali Jafari has been saying Epsilon could be the LinkedIn, but they didn't get the right chance to get into the market. And course networking is our current project. So it started in 2011 with seed funding from Indiana University. So this platform, you can see we have been working on it for over a decade now. It's a social learning platform. It's academic social networking platform that has it's a social learning management system, and I will get onto the details in a little bit. User e-portfolio, gamification, AI-based smart learning agent. So it's a combination of all the past work at the Cyber Lab and getting better.
By the way, that Epsilon, that's sold to the New York Times.
Correct. Yeah, that one was sold to New York Times. Yeah. So just as I mentioned earlier, the course networking company was founded with seed funding from Indiana University in 2011. The next year, the platform, the CN.com, was launched. Course networking company, Course Networking LLC, has a headquarters in Indianapolis, but also has international offices in Malaysia and China. So we have our developers, most of them in Guangzhou, China. That is from the very first day of course networking. And those developers, we still keep quite some of the original staff, the original developers. So they are very skilled and now experienced. And we're happy to having them. And the Malaysia office is mainly responsible for the market development in Southeast Asia and Asia. So based on Google Analytics, as of now, we have near 2 million users worldwide. These are the core CN products. I'm going to dive into a live demo of a little bit of everything. So just as a quick summary, the CN platform we are developing here, the main part of it is a social learning management system, which comes with the gamification features. And I think about 2 to 3 years after we developed the first version of the course networking platform, we realized it's really difficult to convince institutions to switch from their current learning management system to another one, because committing to a learning management system is such a big thing to most of the institutions. And so based on that, we craft a minimized version, which is called CN Social. We hide those learning management features like gradebook and syllabus, files, and module tours, a task tool, other platform, the learning management system already provide. And we only gathered our most unique social and engaging learning features in this CN Social tool. And it's a LTI plugin. LTI stands for Learning Tools Interoperabilities. I believe most of you are familiar with the terminology and this technique. So learning tools can be integrated very easily through LTI. So this tool can be integrated with other learning management systems which support LTI, and these days most of them do. E-portfolio, this has been our R&D focus of the past 5 to 6 years. It's built upon users' CN profile. Initially, users just have a brief profile, and then we developed it into a more comprehensive e-portfolio. So it's kind of like LinkedIn, but this one is specifically designed for students. So it's an academic e-portfolio. Students are able to network with each other and put their assignments, put their learning artifacts, their learning reflections onto their e-portfolio. And they got to carry it lifelong because we made our e-portfolio social and lifelong. Rumi is a recent development. It's still in beta after about 2 years. The graduate research assistants in our Cyber Lab, they have been working on the Rumi Rumi project to develop different Rumi AI-based smart features, for example, a series of recommendation features. I'm going to quickly show you this one as well. So let's take a quick look at the platform we have been building the past 10 years.
Can I interrupt real quick, Mengyuan?
Yeah, definitely.
So you're in a unique position. Did you ever imagine when you're in the IST program having a job like this?
Yeah, good question. I prepared a slide for that. I was thinking going back to it.
Good.
Should I do a quick demo first and then let's go into those questions?
Yeah. But I'll just point out to the students here in 511 that we've had instructional designers come in the past few weeks. That's not the only kind of job that's available after you get a master's or a certificate or a doctorate in IST. There are a wide range of other possibilities. This is among them. So I made sure we included Mengyuan again, even though she was here last semester or last spring when I last taught this course. I didn't teach it in the fall. I don't like bringing the same person back because I don't want to get them tired too much, but I think this is important to show us the range of possibilities, and also exciting. Plus, she had jobs last time I brought her in here. She had 2 openings. I don't know if she has any openings now. So if you're looking for a job, she might talk at the end about what job openings she has. If you find what she's saying interesting and so forth. So go ahead, Mengyuan, go back the way you were going to, but then just as a precursor to what you might talk about.
Sounds good. And this time I'm going to do a quick demo, not getting into too much details of the CN features. I'm going to talk about my job, my position, and new things I see through my job. So this is the course networking platform after I log in. You can see my homepage filled up by these posts made visible to me. Could be from a course I teach or I take, or from my institution networks. I could also network with people based on my academic interest. So this is the social aspects of it. Let's say the instructional design group, right? I can see people who also tag themselves with this skill tag, look at their posts, their e-portfolio stuff. I can go to their e-portfolio, I can follow them, message them. Courses, sorry. This is what we start with. We had this CN Classic course. The classic course has the task tool, you can see, and various of learning management system features you are familiar with. But right under these features, you see this is the course's social discussion feed. The discussion is right there. It's more student-centered. We support social constructive type of learning. So the student, whenever they see anything related to the course, they can jump into a conversation. Sorry, this course the channel recently expired. And we have these social features like hashtags. Learners could use hashtags to filter topics of their interest. This is a cultural exchange course, virtual exchange course, talking about sustainable development, SDGs. So let's say if people are interested in zero hunger, and then they click on it, can filter all of the posts and reflections, including the hashtag. And besides posts, we also have the polling feature to try to engage the learners. And analysis, that's one of the gamification features. While students participate in the discussion, they earn pomegranate or analysis. We have our analysis rules here. We define the seeds they can earn for each activity, and also how many seeds they could earn per 24 hours and 7 days. This is to help students to plan their work. And then the analysis they earn in the course, this can be part of the one of the gradebook items, so can be factored into the course grade. And the LTI tool we developed, so I don't have that one open, but I can quickly show you. So inside a Canvas course, oh, I'm sorry, I thought I logged in.
So Jennifer asked, are these students interacting in just one university or across location, institutions, and organizations, or is that an option?
Option. So good question. So the discussion can be within a course. Like here, I'm showing you a Canvas course, and course networking is plugged in, right? When learners click on it, the corresponding CN course opens. This is the mini version I mentioned earlier. It only has those social engagement features here. This is a course discussion feed, right? But we allow the learners to reach out to global classmates. We connect the courses based on course category by default. Instructors could also connect to specific courses. And also there is a My Campus layer there. So if IU student like to talk to their schoolmates, other people at Indiana University on CN, this is the Indiana University's institution feed. And what I showed you earlier in the full CN, remember the home feed, that is global. Unless the institution, they say, oh, we don't want our student to be exposed to everyone on CN, then they can, through the admin settings, to say homepage, student can only interact with others within the institution. Otherwise, it's global. Yeah. So showed you a little bit of the plugin. And about 3 years ago, during the pandemic, we realized how important to support learning professionals and also fully online programs and courses. So we come up with the second LMS format. It's called Pathway, and I'm in the instructor view of it. So the Pathway LMS in CN has a very streamlined structure. You probably see this structure in many other MOOC course platforms like Coursera or Udemy, right? The learners come in and they complete learning activities one after another, but we try to incorporate the social learning, the social discussion features. So after they watch a video, read some resources, they can jump into a post activity, create a post. And only after they complete this activity, they get a green check mark. The instructor could also say, users must complete the previous activity before and they can move on to the next one. So this is our Pathway LMS. We have micro analytics built in. Instructor could see on each activity who have completed it. And we also have course completion badge and certificate built in, and lesson completion badge. And all of these micro certifications directly go to the user's ePortfolio profile, which is the CN ePortfolio. So this is my profile ePortfolio. I try to build it as much as I can. So you can see it has many different sections and features. I tag my skills, and these skills reflected on my homepage for me to have conversations with others on the CN platform that can be across institutions. Expertise, document section, store my documents. Showcases is the backbone of the CN ePortfolio. So we have come up with the signature ePortfolio assignment concept and practice, encouraging our ePortfolio licensees to adopt a signature ePortfolio assignment using the showcase. Let's say to have students to reflect on what they learn in a course or produce a course project showcase, which can include many media formats, links, documents, tag skills, and people can recommend and endorse each other. Yeah, we have our badge engine, which is another gamification feature. PBL, which is the acronym of points and badges and leaderboard. We also have the leaderboard in the course, which is the roster.
So a different PBL, not problem-based learning, not process-based learning, not project-based learning, but points, badges, and leaderboards.
The leaderboard for gamification.
Oh, you have to write that up as a publication, you know.
Yeah, yep.
I like that.
The last part, Rumi. Rumi is the AI-based smart learning agent, so kind of like a personal assistant on the CN platform.
Well, that would be publishable today too. Everything's AI.
I'm going to talk more about AI. Yeah, it has been a hot topic and getting quite exciting lately, right? So Yeah, Rumi right now provides several features on CN. Making announcement isn't really the AI-based feature, but you can see this dominant position of Rumi announcement enables CN admins and institution admin to push out important announcement. We also have community recommendation. So I'm able to select skills or competencies or study fields I'm interested, and add to my e-portfolio. That will add to my homepage. We have connection recommendations, recommending connections on the platform based on my profile and my performance, my activities on CN. I can look at their e-portfolio, follow them. We have job recommendations. This part, we need to enhance this intelligence. So right now, it's just you go to a platform, commonly used platform, already with your major and your location filled in, and you can look at most recent relevant jobs. The other one is the connect. I think I showed this one. What is the next one? The tips, learning tips. Well, I have a very, very advanced account, so most of those tips are not really relevant to me, where I have looked at them before. So through this feature, we give learning tips to learners and teaching tips to instructors. If they're on their e-portfolio page, we will give them some relevant tips. Let's say they haven't created a showcase, there will be a tutorial, encourage them to create a showcase. Let's say an instructor is teaching in a course, haven't set up anar seats, right? Haven't set up anar seats go. We will give some introduction to the anar seats and the values and how to set up anar seats, stuff like that. Yeah, to try to make the learning and teaching more personal. So this is a quick overview of the CN platform. I'm going to switch back to my PowerPoint. So going back to that question, or maybe let's start from here. So just let you take a quick look at my career path. I received my Bachelor in Art degree from Beijing Normal University in Language, Literature, and Literature and Language Education. I have a minor in English. The next couple of years, I work as an education book editor and a 5th grade teacher in Beijing while I was applying for IST. The summer of 2010, I came here and become an IST master student and graduated in 2 years. And after that, I worked shortly with an education evaluation firm in Bloomington. It's called Rockwell et al. So I conducted various of education evaluation project with them. Quite interesting. They have a lot of very interesting projects there. And then I landed my current job, which is but when I start, I was a research and project associate at the IEPUI Cyber Lab and course networking. In 2015, till now, I have been the associate director of research and development with the same project. So there is a question. I'm putting the questions together here. There is a question asking whether my Beijing Normal University bachelor degree prepared me for what I'm doing now. So 3 quick points here. I really think it paved the way for my after college jobs, and that prepared me for my study at IST, my master program. Right, and that prepared me for my job. So I connect the dots, and it's one of the dots. And you know, if you ask me what I learned back then as a bachelor student from the linguistic and language and literature program, I'm not using much of it, but I remember I was in a learning theory, learning foundation course, and the lecture is a big lecture hall class, and the professor used many lessons to talk about this debate of learning is a nature or is nurture. And so I still have a weak memory about what he discussed, but I see this really connect to what I learned here, and also the I'm still with the IST doctoral program, right? Through the doctoral program, I took adult education, adult learning as my as an elective course. So in that course, I really like that Bronfen-Brunner's ecological system theory. This theory analyzes learners from inside out. From inside, look into a learner's their psychological factors, right? Their mind size and all of the features inside the person, right? And also look into the environment outside of the person. So it's from the close environment to the further environment, from the close environment of their family, school, right, to their neighborhood, to the big society. And also vertically, look at human development, look at a person, right, in this person's history to see what the outside environment has made the person like that. So this model really connects this debate, nature or nurture, look into learners' genetics, and also the environment, small and big, near and far, and look at all of these factors as a reciprocal relationship. They really impact and affect each other. So I have been using this whenever I need to design something, I need to conduct a learner analysis, but it's also kind of a challenging, right? I think all of the design situations we are facing is when most of the chance we design one thing for multiple learners. So you will really need to think about each individual, but also you have to overcome the constraints of you are developing something for multiple learners. So you need to try to support each learner, support their multiple means, right? Multiple desires of expressing themselves, presenting themselves, and then their engagement needs. This is something I kind of see connections, what I learned from 10 years ago and what I'm learning and dealing with in my current job or in different job situations. And the other thing is at Beijing Normal University, as an undergraduate student, I took a lot of big lecture hall classes. Those lecture hall classes didn't give me good experience. I feel very less engaged and just tired of even secure a seat in the lecture hall. When I came to IST, I was very, very engaged in the constructivism, the active learning opportunities, all those PBLs, project-based learning, learning about open learning environments, right? Inquiry-based learning and all of these. So I'm a big advocate of constructivism, social learning and active learning and all of these. So I would say the BNU experience let me know how important the new ways of teaching and learnings are. And I think this is also another reason I left my current job and I have been staying here for a long time. I see what I believe in is aligned with what I'm producing, my team is developing. The platform we try to develop to support teachers to do all kinds of new type of teaching and education. So the other question Dr. Bang asked earlier is my position what I imagined when I was in the IST master's program. So the answer is no. I wish I took this class from Dr. Bang so that I could hear what the IST alumni are doing, their practice, and what are the possible job opportunities out there. I didn't take a class back then, so I didn't have a very clear picture when I was a master's student, what I'm going to do. But eventually, when I landed this job, I think it's a good fit. And this is the ideal job diagram I believe you're all familiar with. So I mentioned earlier, I love what I'm doing. I'm doing what I really believe in. And I I feel I'm capable of handling different job responsibilities, overcome challenges, and solve problems come out in the daily job. And in terms of whether it pays well, I think it could be better. We all know the education industry isn't very lucrative, but relatively stable. So yes, to the answer, it's a good fit, but really back then I didn't imagine I'm going to have such a job.
But I did. I was her advisor and I knew this was the right job for her. So when I got the call from Dr. Ali Jafari, he says, who do you have that's good? I said, well, Mengyuan, it's good. And so it just happened. Sometimes things just happen, right? So it's good timing. It was just good timing.
And I really appreciate Dr. Bang always think about his students, many students, and he always help build connections. So if you're looking for some opportunities and you need some help, talk to Dr. Bang. Dr. Bang has a lot of good connections there.
Yeah, join me in LinkedIn or some other tool. Yeah.
Responsibility transition over the years. So I have been working on this course networking project for almost 10 years. So definitely many things have changed. And I'm responsible these days on many things. So I summarize them into 3 aspects: software development, the software implementation, and research. So in terms of the software development, when I start the job, we worked a lot on adding learning management features, adding those social learning features, fixing issues. We still do these things these days. However, these days we are enhancing most of the existing features. Like recently, we have this grading tool inside CN, which is not like the speed grader most of the teachers fall in love with. The interface is not that easy, and we do not support annotation on student work. So one of our potential clients told us we must develop like a speed grader and assignment submission annotation tools for teachers. So this is something right now we are developing. But I see a transition to more technology tools integration and developing smart features. The integration I'm saying here is like the LTI through LTI tools, right? Various of platforms can be added onto an existing platform. We are seeking out partnership and integration with commonly used popular tools like Zoom, like Slack, and recently Canva, the PowerPoint, this presentation design tool I'm using here, to hope to incorporate these new and popular tools into the CN platform to support our users to do their work more efficiently and learn more efficiently. And smart learning features, that's the AI part. Just recently, we developed a feature based on voice recognition. So when learners input a post content, right, or a reflection, right, they can click on this tool and then they just talk. You can see the voice recognition here, recognize what I'm saying and type it out. So with the young generation, they write their paper on their phone, right? And these days with maybe with ChatGPT. So we try to catch up, and we think with such feature, we can bring convenience to the students. They can more quickly chime into their class discussions. So this is only one example of it.
Mengyuan, Belle Lee, who was a master's student. Today she sent me a note that an example that ChatGPT can take a transcript of a video, which exists, any video on YouTube, and create a summary of that video.
Super smart.
You can create a summary of the videos that you can watch in like a Cliff Notes for video. That's really cool.
Yep.
So Amelia in Japan has a question for you.
Yes.
Amelia says, are students complaining about bad grades or posting a political agenda, a problem on the CN, on the student social site? Are Is it a complaint box, or are they pretty, supportive of one another? Is it more negative or positive?
Positive. So this is based on our almost a decade of experience on such a social learning platform. I think this is a big difference than if teachers just use Facebook, right, or Twitter, those general purpose social media platform. In this learning network platform, you can see students, they follow the instructor's guidance and requirements, expectations very well. I'm conducting my dissertation and is related to this. I talked to many professors, and most of them told me they almost never seen such a case. Students post inappropriate content or have inappropriate language. And on the CN homepage, which is now monitored by course instructors, we have our engine to track what students say. We can very easily detect whether there are inappropriate words, because we have a library, a huge library of inappropriate words, and we rarely see inappropriate discussions. And if that happens, learners can report, and we also immediately take action of hiding it and send the post creator an email.
Yeah, we got worried about this in the 1990s when I was doing asynchronous discussion research and case-based learning of teachers. Somebody, people raise red flags about flaming. Someone might flame. So the only thing we had to take off was someone sent a love note to someone else. Just, it was nothing negative, truly. There was one person who took on role play, was kind of negative and was assuming different roles. And it was sparking discussion and dialogue, and he was the devil's advocate, sort of, or the bloodletter, if you will. But that didn't happen often, and it's often we find the opposite online in asynchronous educational discourse. Students are too nice to one another online. They're afraid to take stances and debate and take positions on issues. They don't want to hurt anyone else's feelings more often than not. And that doesn't mean it's totally a 100%, but in educational social media and educational discussion forums. So Mengyuan is studying educational social media, right? You might
social networking platform.
Yeah, that's your dissertation, right?
Yep,
so
my dissertation.
There's a quadrant she created, 4 quadrants. I wish you had the slide that could show it, because it's really nicely done, that shows the types of media and the research that's been done. She's studying a quadrant. It hasn't been looked at that much. It's on the educational side of social media, not the cultural side. Right, Mengyuan?
Correct, yeah. So I analyzed literature about using social networking sites for teaching and learning, and I developed a quadrant based on that's a general purpose SNS, or that's educational SNS, and also how much instructor support and scaffolding got put in the instruction into the use of the technology, from no instructor support, student directed to instructor directed, and had a lot of nice findings. And my focus is I'm studying course networking, so it's in the quadrant of academic social networking sites with instructor guidance. My topic is higher ed instructors' scaffolding practices to enhance student learning engagement in a social learning environment, and I use course networking as the context.
Very good, very good. We probably have a running low on time here, so do you have you gone through all your slides so we can ask you questions, or you have something left to show us?
Just this one last page. Let me finish here, and we can have a few questions. Yeah. And yes, smart learning features, I was talking about this. So besides the voice recognition, we're also incorporating automatically generate hashtags. So right now it's pretty manual. Instructor need to create some first, and students use those instructor suggested. But through the language recognition, the AI agent has such capability. We could read into what student post and directly say, hey, whether you would like to use these hashtags. We could also skip this step, just directly put in some hashtags, but we would like to have the end users to take a look at the possible hashtags and select the most relevant ones. On the CNE portfolio I showed you earlier, we have a very important feature to have students tag their skills. Like they create a showcase, right? And then they can tag the skills demonstrated in that showcase. And this one, many learners, they somehow they don't tag skills, but if they don't tag skills, this will hinder their interactions with others on the platform, and also prevent the viewers, the portfolio viewers, filter relevant evidence artifacts. So we collaborate with a group of Indian professors, computer science professors. They're also a licensee of the CN, so they use name entity recognition, that smart learning, the smart algorithm to automatically read into the text the user put into their showcase and suggest relevant skills. So, we're incorporating and developing more and more smart features. In terms of implementation, when I start a job, I do a lot of training to individual faculty members and to programs. But these days, we see the importance of supporting institutions to have the top-down implementation of a learning platform, no matter that's LMS or that's the e-portfolio, the CM Post. So I have been working a lot on coming up with institution-wide implementation plans and consultation services. Research part, I used to provide data to faculty members who use the platform and interested in writing a paper about CN. But these days, with me in the doctoral program and have more experience in research, I'm collaborating with faculty members and scholars at the Cyber Lab. So we published in our lab last year, we published a couple of papers about Rumi and smart learning agents. So quite interesting and exciting there. Yeah, so I think that's all I have prepared. This is CN from 10 years ago, from when I started.
Yeah, I know Ali would be lost without you there. You're his right-hand person, so I'm glad that it's all worked out. I will say also that you're able to do research well in what is basically more of a techie kind of position. But you're able to extend out to faculty training and development. So really, you're gaining a lot of skills in this job. So let's stop the sharing at this point and see if anyone has any questions for you, Mengyuan, or comments or compliments. Anyone want to? Tiana, did you have something? No, okay. Amelia?
I was just wondering, thank you so much for speaking to our class. This has been very informative and you've basically covered everything. I just looked at your profile and it's very advanced. And I was just wondering, I work with like serious gamers in Japan and I can see it's kind of like addicting. Do those points ever reset, or you come in with someone who already has like a gazillion badges and points and you just try to find your way in there?
So my CME portfolio, it's real. I accumulate that thousands of NRCs over the past 10 years while I use CN every day, doing training, building stuff. The badges, some of them are not real. So I may be doing testing and issue myself some badges.
Give me a couple of those. We all of us, we all want to get some badges.
Yeah, I loved it. I think my students would really get on board with that. So thank you again for speaking with us.
Oh, you are welcome. And the CN platform is open to everyone. Everyone can go on the cn.com and sign up a free account. Teachers can create their free courses. Just to start from during the pandemic, we start limiting the number of courses teachers can create, but just reach out to me. I give you unlimited courses.
So put your email in the chat again for everyone, although they probably already have it. Just, she's in the IU system. She probably has a couple different emails that she can be contacted at, including a Gmail account and so forth. So that's great if Amelia's students in Japan want to jump in and try it out, or if Tiana's people in Letty Hall in informatics want to try it out, whatever, you know, you guys just experiment with a small pilot and just see, you know, try it for a week even, just, you know, or two weeks and see what happens after that. So Jennifer's down in Dallas Community College, and Brandon's here in Bloomington. And Chao Ying is in Bloomington as well. Christian was in Indianapolis, you were saying, or we were born in Indiana, Kristen, or that was Jennifer.
Yeah, no, I'm Northeast.
Northeast, right. And Nader, you're in Bloomington or no? Oh, we don't hear you. That's okay. So anyone else have a question for her before she has to go?
I had a quick question, and
Yeah.
feel free to answer quickly.
Kristen.
But I was wondering, I have some experience with working with, my former employer was an ebook reader and courseware provider. So we got really in the weeds on, we used LTI to work seamlessly between our e-reader platform and learning management systems so that students could launch courseware or their text electronically, like single sign-on into their LMS and view their ebook. So in what way would the CN social platform, like what benefits would it provide to an institution or to an organization just with kind of like the light version of the LMS?
Yeah. So institutions who are interested in the CN Lite version typically are looking for alternative to the traditional discussion forums provided by the learning management system. They want to have a more student-centered, relatively informal discussion space for their students. Yeah, and then the CN social discussion really can be used to create an online community for students, especially if you teach fully online courses.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Welcome.
It's interesting, isn't it, to hear from us? Kind of it's a startup company in some ways. In some ways, it's beyond the startup phase, right?
Yeah, it's long enough.
Yeah, it's long enough beyond the startup phase. So we're hearing a kind of a history of a relatively new company, though, that is based on the successes of previous ones. So it's kind of an interesting story. It's right here in Indiana too. So, you know.
Yep.
Oh, you were going to mention possible jobs. Your eyes lit up before when I mentioned job openings. People are going to watch the recording, so those watching the recording might want to learn about new jobs. So what do you have?
So we continuously hiring IST students at our Cyber Lab. So it's actually a IU job. So last year, Dr. Bunk sent several people to us. They have all been wonderful and very helpful. We will, based on your experience, to find the right project. And you can see we do all kinds of stuff to find the right position. That may be an education consulting type of position if you have more experience, or if you are interested in instructional design or putting courses onto a technology platform. So right now, we are working on a Indiana Department of Education IDOE funded project. It's called WRCA, Well-Rounded Course Access Framework, through IU Partnership. So IU Partnership got this grant, $3 million grant. And various of IU units are working on the project. The CN came in, Cyber Lab came in as the technology, the platform provider. And there is a group, they're doing the UDL, DEI, in learning kind of a staff, providing instructional design support and consultation support to those teachers. So I forgot to mention this program. The goal is in 4 years developing 90 courses, high school, middle school courses for all Hoosier students, for students in Indiana. So this year we got around 20 teachers, And very soon, this project will open up 3 to 4 part-time, they call it course development specialist positions, part-time. So if you are looking for a side hustle, practice your instructional design skills and work with a couple of teachers of the program to put their course onto the course networking platform. Later on, once I have the job announcement, I will send to Dr. Bunk, and Dr. Bunk can help put the link, distribute the link, and welcome to apply.
So is this money part of the stimulus package, or part, you know, that
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
think
what
the
I'm thinking,
source
right.
is the federal stimulation. Yeah,
right.
yeah, funding.
So
Yeah.
this is part of the funding cycle, the things that happen.
Yep.
Department of Ed, about 20 years ago, Department of Ed had all these money for teacher training, like, you know, and then all of a sudden it was no longer there. Right now, we're seeing the same kind of thing, but through the stimulus package, we're seeing all sorts of innovation. I've never seen this much money or grants available, especially AI related again, is a big area. Computational thinking and online learning because of the pandemic and so forth.
So although, you know, the program developed middle school and high school courses, but the courses are, they're on various of interesting topics, AP courses, you know, courses that a rural area high school in Indiana won't be able to have the teacher resources to teach their students. So that's why their student could sign up these courses through the WRCA project. So they have courses like financial intelligence, you know, helping kids learn financial knowledge, AP history, calculus, and art design, and also like teaching courses, you know, how to design online teaching, those kind of stuff. I believe offered to high school students who want to become a teacher later.
Any final comments from anyone? So let's give Mengyuan a round of applause.
Thank you, everyone.
It's very wonderful to have you in here. I'm going to stop the record or pause the recording here for a second. So this is being paused, part 2, pausing. Thank you, Mengyuan. Resume.